Hello and welcome back to the Wrexham Way. Hope you're all doing well and looking forward to today's transfer special as, for a change, I actually think I know what I'm doing today. In previous seasons we've had some mad panics on transfer specials, but today I've got a list, I know exactly what positions we need to sign, and I've got some players scouted out that I want to sign in each of those positions. So fingers crossed today is going to be smooth, nice, and we're going to get the players in that we want to get in. First things first though, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and leave a comment down below letting me know if you think these transfers are good transfers or not. Now there are a few things to go through before we start making transfers. The first one is that a lot of you guys seem to think that Gaston Andreucci is going to be a good keeper for us. Despite him not being the greatest thing in the world right now, you guys are buying into the potential ability that he's got, and fingers crossed he'll be a good keeper for us. So it's likely he's going to start this season as our first choice keeper. But if we can get a good deal for someone else coming in on like a year's loan or something like that, we can maybe send this guy out on loan elsewhere to develop, we might do that too. But for now, he'll be our starter. He's also joining us any moment now. We're on the 9th of June, which is the start of the transfer window, and he joins us any moment now. So we'll see what it looks like in a few moments' time. There was also a big award for Adam Thomas Parry, our young centre-back. He has won the EFL Young Player of the Year award, which last season was won by Oliver Street. So both our young centre-backs have ended up winning the EFL Player of the Year, an award that has been won in the past by players such as Gareth Bale, such as Fabian Delph, Nathaniel Klein, Tom Ince, Wilfred Zaha. There's no pictures on screen right now of these players actually, because I'm currently redoing the face packs, but it's like a big 16 gigabyte file of all sorts of stuff, and it's taken a long time to transfer and download and stuff, and I've got to record this kind of stuff. So today there's no actual photos of players in the game because my face pack was out of date by about 2 years or so. So it was time for an update because loads of young players that we've got in the team just don't have faces, and they should do. But basically, winning this award looks pretty good to me, so fingers crossed Adam Thomas Parry and Oliver Street are going to combine to make a killer defensive force this coming season. And speaking of this coming season, well, I think this is how I want the team to be shaped. I think we need to move the midfielders a little further forward. Now, we will have to test things out a little bit because, quite frankly, we are going to leave some gaps in the midfield, aren't we? And we might not be good enough to actually play like this. We might be going too attacking as it stands right now, and that could be detrimental to us. So we could bring these players back. But Jacobson, of course, on the left wing for us is ordinarily a left winger. His backup this season is going to be Tyson Allen when he comes back on loan from Wycombe, who is a left winger more than anything else. So it just makes a little bit more sense to play a bit further advanced. Also, Tyson Allen and Jacobson are both right-footed on the left-hand side, so it makes more sense to play them as inverted wingers this season as opposed to an actual winger. I've not changed any of the tactical style at all. That stays the same right now, but we might tweak things a little bit if we are struggling, or we just bring these players back to play a bit deeper. But also what you will see is there are some missing positions on the first team and in the bench because there's a lot of players that I want to sign today. Players on the pitch right now are the players that I think are probably good enough to be playing in our first team this next coming season. So although Chris Johns is in goal right now, it's likely actually he'll become sub 1. Benegas might actually end up being sold at some point as we bring in our new goalkeepers. Actually, he could be a player being sold. But Paul, Thomas Parry, Oliver Street, very happy with these guys being in the back line. I think they're very good. We need a new left back though. Statura, he played very well on the right hand side of midfield in a bit of a makeshift role last season, but it's time to put him in that deep lying playmaker role that he's actually meant to be playing in. And alongside him is George Webster, who is back for another season on loan. We got him back from Wolves. He's here once again, so that's really good for us. Jacobson, of course, on the left wing, and Escobar and Alexander, as it stands right now, up front. Although, I would quite like a new starting striker to be on the pitch. Probably on loan, I imagine. That's probably the best option we've got. And then, of course, we need a new winger coming in as well as plenty of players to fill up the backup role. So I have a post-it note here of things that we need. There's 9 players that we need to sign, in my opinion. So going in position order of backup players and first team players as well, we need a right back coming in. We need a left centre back. We need 2 left backs coming in. We need a centre mid, 2 right wingers, and probably 2 strikers as well. Everyone who doesn't have a position is hopefully going to either leave the club at the end of their contract. Players like Bryce Hosanna, like Harry Lennon, like Paul Mullen, like Aaron Hayden, all leaving at the end of their contracts. Rodrigo Benegas will probably sell him. Jim McBangold probably out on loan, but might be a good player to keep around next season. The other players who are in on loan, they are likely to be leaving the club, mostly because I don't think we necessarily need them. I think we could maybe do better than them, apart from Byro, but I've kept trying to sign him in between episodes, and he just will not sign a contract, and we can't get him back on loan. So Byro, this might be goodbye. So that is the situation right now. That's the situation right now. We've got a little while before contracts expire, so a few players are still going to kick around the club for a little while. But as I press continue and the transfer window opens, we welcome Gaston Andreucci, our new goalkeeper, the young 18-year-old Argentinian who came second in the Next Gen Awards. We have spent an ungodly amount of money on him, £4.5 million. It's a big gamble for the Velez first choice keeper. It's just a shame that he's not quite up to it right now, but you guys seem to have faith in him. You guys seem to think he's going to be our number one this season, so let's put him in there, shall we? Andreas Andreucci. You're there. Where'd I get Andreas from? It's Gaston, isn't it? I don't know why I said Andreas. As the window's open, and I think Benegas is the only person who's going to get sold this season probably, let's offer him out to clubs for an unspecified fee and see if anyone wants to buy him. Now it's time to focus on some ins. We have £3.5 million to spend on players this season. It's going to be tight, particularly with a very small wage budget as well. We've got a committed spend of £100,000, so not much room in the wage budget either. Things might need to be adjusted. We'll figure it out. But I have been doing some scouting, and whilst we've got a lot of players on this to sign list or our transfer target list, not many of them want to sign for us. Like if we go to the TomFM shortlist, we can see some big information here, but players like Rav Vandenberg, a centre-back that I want to sign, has no interest in signing for us. This goalkeeper that we don't need to ignore him, actually, to be fair. This centre mid currently playing at OB does not want to sign for us. There's a lot of players here that are very good that don't want to sign for us. But if we sort it by interested in transfer, there's a couple that do want to sign for us for a nice little bit of money. The first one that I want to bring in is our backup right back this season to play behind Pole. And it's this guy called Paul Dillon, who's a 19-year-old right back currently playing for Shamrock Rovers, who, despite having some low crossing and dribbling, and low marking and passing and technically tackling, ignore that, he does look quite good. And for £500,000, if we can develop him, because he's only 19 years old, I think could be a very good player. Already championship level apparently, could improve a lot in the future. As a backup, it seems like a good option to me. So, transfer, make an offer. He's got a £550,000 minimum fee release clause. We can't go any lower than that, so it's got to be £550. Make the offer. In terms of a left back as well, we need to bring two left backs in. The first one that I want to try and bring in is Josh Timon, who looks very, very good on the left-hand side. Just had a season with Coventry in League One, to be fair, but his entire career has been played up until that point in the Championship or above, like the First Division in Portugal or the Premier League. Everything like that. So for me, I think Josh Timon would be a really handy addition to the team. Unhappy at Coventry right now, does want to leave, and as you can see, has some pretty good attributes. Now, what I don't agree with is the scouts saying he's League One. I think he is Championship quality right now, so we're going to get him. So let's ask his agent about availability first, and he says 140 to 1.4 million to make a deal possible. So if we bring the price up to, I don't know, 100... let's say £200,000, right? Remove and exclude percentage of profit from next sale. Suggest that they come back in and say 350 and then 325 down the line to make it £675,000 in total. Can we go 250 and 150 to make it £400,000 total? They say no, 275 and 215 to make it £500,000. How about 250 and 200? Let's try that. They say yes. 450. Good deal. So £1 million on, that's quite a lot of money already actually, on our starting left back and backup right back. Now I said I want to bring in two left backs. Well, the other one is currently being scouted out on our scout priority list, but he's down here called Corey Altin. Currently plays for Mainz, 19 years old, German, and does look quite good, to be fair. I like his work rate, and I like definitely what I see with determination, resolute personality. He looks good and can play anywhere on the left-hand side of the pitch. League One standard right now, Championship potential. I reckon he could be Premier League potential in the future. I think our scouts have got that a little bit wrong, in my opinion. So, the 2 caps for the under-21s in Germany is good enough for me to think this guy would be worth signing, and is also valued at £275,000 because that is his release fee clause, I think. Yes, it is. I think it is. Yes. Let's double check this, shall we? Oh no, he's not got an agent. We can't ask. Okay. Well, still, I think we can make the offer of 275, sorry, and it's accepted. Finalise the offer, let's go. I've also got some Man United players being scouted out right now, and the reason I want to scout these guys out is because, of course, they are our affiliate club this season, so we want to try and make the most of signing some of their players. This top guy here, Jan Peter Rebergen, which I think I'm probably saying wrong, we'll get used to it at some point, can play anywhere in the attacking midfield and up front, but I think it's likely he'll be more of a winger for us. We can get him on a free in terms of loan deals, absolutely free for us. So I think it's worth making an offer on him, suggest the terms, finalise the deal. Good. There's also another winger in this guy called Alejandro, who's also a right winger. We may as well make an offer for him too, although United wouldn't let him leave the club at present. We could do with another centre-back, and Willy Camboila is one of those centre-backs, which could be quite good, actually. Again, we can get him for free, essentially, or we could actually buy him, potentially. We could do that in January if he has a good start to the season with us, but we can get him on loan for absolutely free. So let's suggest terms, finalise the deal, try and bring him in. There's also a really good striker in Luca Reichel as well, Austrian 22. The issue with him is I don't think they're going to let him come. No, they're not. So I think just the 2 loan offers right now for Jan and for Willy. But going back to the scout priority list where those Man United players were in the first place, there's another player right at the bottom here called Zeke Medley, who is a centre-back with a left foot, currently playing for Oostend in Belgium. And if you've been watching my stream save that we've got going on at the moment with Anderlecht, he plays, obviously, in the Belgian Pro League against us for Oostend, and he's been really, really good. And so I think he would be good enough to sign, good enough for the Championship right now, on a free transfer because his contract is expiring. The issue is I think a lot of teams are going to be interested in this guy. So I'm tempted to make him an important player to make him feel better, finalise the promise, and kind of give him what he wants. Although he's not asked for anything so far, has he? He's just asking for us to put a deal on the table, which we will do. We'll put this deal on the table and we will see what he likes. Let's put it to £3,000 because that's quite cheap, I feel. And let's get rid of some of these ways to make money in the future. Suggest. He wants more. Okay. Appearance fee's got to come down. So's clean sheet. But let's push the actual wage up to £4,500 a week. Push the agent fee up to as max as it can go. Suggest. Okay. Because I know a lot of clubs are going to be interested in Zach Medley. Well, Peterborough are right now. But they're better than us. And he might choose them over us. So we need to put a good offer on the table. So, I mean, mental. I mean, can you believe this? This is not what usually happens with this sort of thing. I've got straight in there with offers, and they've actually been accepted. So I think we could be on to a winner really early on here. First of all is Paul Dillon, the right back. Looks like a really cheap contract. Wants to be a regular starter. Can we say squad and then regular and then get rid of that, bring another player? Suggest. He likes that. Okay, that's good. Wants us to suggest a contract to him. We'll make it very cheap. McPhillips has put this contract together, get rid of the release fee clauses, and the actually wage rise can stay in there after 25 games. That's fine. It's not much of a wage rise, to be fair, and it might keep him sweet for a while. Everything else can stay the same. Watch him reject it. He wants like double, essentially. Okay, right. He's gone orange, but I do really want him. Can I get rid of... Let me get rid of the release fee clause. No, actually, let's leave it in there because I don't think that many clubs will want him. Bring this down to 8. Let's try and bring these down because I feel like if I get rid of them, he's going to get cross with me. Let's try that. Oh dear. Suggest. He likes it. Okay. Not the best contract I've ever done, but I think it could be okay for him. Josh Tymon is excited to join us as well. He's a very good player. I'm really excited to have this guy in and around the team. On a big contract, 8 grand. Let's bring it down to 6 grand. Let's get rid of the promotion wage rise, unused substitute fee. Bring down the appearance and clean sheet bonuses. 5.5. He wants 8.5. Oh, this is going to be tricky, isn't it? We'll keep it at 1.2 each, maybe. Let's just try and get the wage down to like... what did we offer last time? Previous offer was 5.5. Okay, right. So let's make it 6 grand a week then. He's gone orange as well. 1.57.5. He's won that. Okay, I'm not doing very well in these negotiations so far, I don't think. And then finally, Corey Elton, squad player, which is fine by me because he'd be back up to Josh Tymon. He has actually come in saying what he wants, which is quite nice. Let's get rid of future ways to make money. He has locked in release fee clauses, so let's just push that up as high as possible. Remove and exclude that. Remove and exclude that. 3.5. 1.5. We'll leave the two as they are. Oh, he wants more money. You hate to see it. 1.5. 4 grand. We can only offer like 4 grand basically, because we're running out of money on all these contracts we've offered to players so far. He agrees to it though. That's good. Right. It looks like we're getting a few deals on the table. The loan offers have been accepted as well. Offers made for Benegas, which we'll accept all of them because they're all pretty cheap anyway. Okay, things are up and going right now. So 6 players potentially coming into the team with a £1.1 million upfront value and 1.3 down the line. Okay, is that total down the line? I'm not sure. I can't remember now. Either way, that's not too bad of a dent in our transfer budget for 6 players. But Barnsley and Peterborough are also making bids for Zach Medley, and this is what I mean. I feel like Barnsley and Peterborough are probably bigger clubs than we are right now, and he might want to join those guys instead. I mean, we've said he'll be an important player. We've given him money. Hopefully he comes to us, but I can't promise anything. In the meantime, okay, Rotherham making a £2.3 million bid for Apo Holm, which I might be tempted to listen to, because this coming season, I would quite like for Adam Thomas-Parry and for Oliver Street to play together and be kind of our starting duo. But he is valued at 2.6 to 5.6 million. We need a lot more money than this. So if they want to pay us 4 million now and $1 million down the line for £5 million total, they say no. Which is fair enough, as Stockport County of League 2 want to have Side-Eye Evans on loan, which I think is probably reasonable. He was in the National League last season, League 2 to step up, accept it. Oh, very quickly, Paul Dillon, literally 2 days after he signed, or we did the contract negotiations, has agreed to sign for us. Right. Well, literally, very quickly, deal number 1 on the table. Here comes Paul Dillon, 19 years old, wing back on the right-hand side. We're back up to pole this season, but could improve a lot in the future, and I love that. I think we've got 2 really good right-backs in the squad right now. And also Josh Tymon here for £450,000. That, to me, is a really good deal. I think this one could be quality for us. Josh Tymon seems like a very good player to have, and here he is. Looks good to me. I love the crossing, I love the dribbling, I love the pace isn't quite as good as it could be. But overall, nothing standout, but it's still very good. I like it. So already we can put in there Josh Tymon as our starting left back, which would be fantastic. And then the backup right back, which is sub 2, we can put in there, if we can find him, Paul Dillon. So 2 down, ideally 7 more to go. I mean, we're on a run right now. Alton has got to wait for a work permit in a week's time or so, but that one is looking good for us if he's asking for a work permit in the first place. How is this happening so quickly? Willie Camboala is happy to sign for us as well. So another centre-back coming into the club, or the first centre-back I should say coming into the club, but 3 defenders coming in already. Ideally, we'd have a defender with a left foot, and he doesn't have a left foot. But if Zach Medley comes in, he's got a left foot, then we've got 5 decent centre-backs. That's a good move for us there. Again, if we go back to this, we can now put him as a backup centre-back. And, I can't believe it, the other guy from Man United, Jan Peter Rebergen is coming to the club as well on loan. Very, very quick deals decided here. I'm a big fan of the speed of this. We've not even been in the game for a week yet, and it's working out perfectly. Banega's set to go and leaving the club for £52,000. That's fine by me. He's gone. We don't need him. Jan, though, we do need. I like it. The issue is, left foot on the right-hand side. He could be a backup striker, but he's not got good finishing. I think he might be more of a winger. Let's put him in the backup slot right now. I think we could maybe, if I can find him, get someone who's actually more of a winger and he can be backup striker potentially, and that would be okay. But it had to end. But the good news had to end somewhere. We did suspect it. Zeke Medley has gone to Barnsley instead. Less money per week actually, but I guess Barnsley are just a better club than we are right now. So I can understand why he'd maybe want to go there. He's turned us and Peterborough down. You hate to see it. The thing is, we only wanted one centre-back coming in. He would have been number 2, so technically we're not at a loss here. It's just it would have been nice to have him. And so if we just wait for the work permits for Corey Altin, 5 out of 6 is not bad going in the first week of the transfer window. But his work permit has been granted, and we can accept the deal to bring Corey Altin into the team. You love to see it. I can start crossing things off my list now. And here he is, looking quite good. And I think, yes, he's not quite as good as Josh Tymon, but with a bit of tutoring, I think he could be very good, you know, and very handy anywhere down the left-hand side of the pitch. Very versatile. So I can start crossing things off my list. The backup right-back, done. The left centre-back, technically done. We could do with someone left-footed, but in my eyes, it's done that we've got Kambwala, but if someone else comes up, we can grab them. We've got 2 left-backs in Altin and Tymon, which is great. And technically 1 winger/striker in the guy coming in from United that I can't pronounce. Rebergen, something like that. Okay. So what that leaves us is a centre mid and 2 wingers, 2 strikers, maybe 1 striker, 1 winger and 2 of the other. You get what I'm trying to say. So the backup centre mid, because James Jones can play both as a box-to-boxer and a playmaker. Ideally, you'd probably want to bring in maybe 2 midfielders actually to try and replace James Jones a little bit. But a playmaker and a box-to-boxer would be good to bring in. Okay, we can do that. I am kind of on purpose leaving the strikers and wingers till last, because I think that's going to be really difficult to bring in. Like the defenders, looking at scout reports, that was pretty easy to do, and I was pretty happy for that. This is going to be a bit harder now that we're moving into the midfield and we're moving into strikers, because quite frankly, there's not a whole lot of options out there for us. Now this guy, Ferrara, we could bring in on loan from Brentford. His contract at Brentford is not expiring for a little while. He is good though, we do like him. We tried to sign him last season, but he was very expensive. We need to wait for him to come back on to Brentford from PAOK basically though. So I might add him to a loan list. I'm being alerted to a player down here called Ben Pearson, available for £325,000 from Coventry. Now, mentals look great. Everything else maybe not quite so much. He is championship level though. When was the scout report done though? That's the main thing. The scout report was done in February. Okay. February might be alright. Let's just get another report on him quickly. He's old, goes against the grain of our transfer policy a little bit, but if we can afford him, he might be one of the only players we can afford, because a lot of players here are quite expensive. I mean, trying to sort it by potential ability instead to try and find some cheap youngsters from somewhere is also not helping out too much. This is the Russian guy we tried to sign last season, but signed a new contract with Moscow instead. Since we've done that scout report, they actually don't rate him very highly, the scout report since then, so maybe we dodged a bullet with that one a little bit. But we are struggling here a little bit, I must say, which is a slight worry. There's a guy here playing for St Johnstone, Jamie Lindsay, who again could be quite good but is expensive. And it actually says good League One level, so maybe we try and ignore him. What if we switch it to players on the loan list in the centre of midfield? Will that make any difference for us if we just switch all this stuff around? I don't think we're going to have many scout reports available to us, sadly. And by looks of things, we could be stuck a little bit. Well, okay, let's look at strikers and wingers then instead. Let's ignore the centre of midfield for now. We'll just try and wait for some more reports to come through. In terms of wingers available for loan, not a lot. Okay. As in terms of strikers available for loan, there is not a lot. Okay. Although these are loan listed players, they might not actually be on the loan list right now. We have to wait until July for more players to come on the loan list potentially. This guy's a striker at Brentford though, 6 foot, heading's not too bad, so potentially we could use him as a target forward if we needed to. But Brentford like to charge a lot for their players on loan. This past season, actually made 12 Premier League appearances but didn't score any goals. Make an offer, loan. Yeah, it's going to be an expensive loan deal with 150 grand a week and 17 grand a week in wages. We couldn't afford that. So what I think we do is we just hold off. We go on the back foot a little bit until we get to July when our players' contracts expire. We save some money there. Other players come back from their loan spells at other clubs and we might have a little bit more to do then. Now, we're not quite in July just yet, but this player has come onto my report. Now, I think, if I remember rightly, I tried to sign a lot of players in January. I think this was one of them. And at the time, he'd only just signed a new contract in January. And I think now in summer, he might want to sign a contract with us instead. He would be interested in a loan move, it does say. So a loan move wouldn't be allowed because Mulder want to have him due to first team commitments. But the agent did say he'd be available between 700k and 6.8 million, which is quite a big jump. If we put £1 million on the table for this striker who looks very, very good, they say, and if I also go to remove percentage profit from next sale, they want £10 million. Okay, right. I don't think this is going to work, is it? We could put £1 million down now, for example, and should we say £4 million down the line in 6 instalments over in 6-month stuff? They said, that's actually good progress. They said 2.6 and 5. 5 and 1.5. It's a lot of money right now, I'm aware. A lot of money right now, I am very aware. They agree to that. Now, hang on. Tom, are we doing something clever here? Championship, Premier League potential. Okay. He has got, finishing is low. But he's more of a deep-lying forward. He's 5'11". He's got 17 heading. Jumping reach could be a lot higher. If he just had better finishing and jumping reach, this guy would be absolutely incredible, wouldn't he? But I do think he would be like the Escobar backup. Potentially. He's a deep-lying forward. That's what he is. He's an attacking midfielder. That's kind of what he is, actually, to be fair. He's an attacking midfielder. And I think he'd have a big resale value too. Let's just see if he wants to sign a contract with us first. He might not want, he does. Okay. Star player he wants to be. Oh, it's 6.5 mil, isn't it? Okay, think this through, Tom. Think this through. Think this through. Everything, aside from his finishing, pace and jumping reach is class. Everything. And if it's any of those 3 little things holding me back, I think it... He wants star player. Can we go important player? He wants star. Okay, star player it will be on a very small contract of 3.4 grand a week. Let's get rid of the release fee clauses. You can have goal bonuses. Get rid of that. It's such a cheap contract. Yes, it's a lot of money up front, but it's such a cheap contract, this. Can we bring it down to 3k even? Appearance fee down. Goal bonus can stay the same. Get rid of your new substitute fee. He's happy with that contract. Okay. Suddenly we are blowing money like no one's business. So much money being spent on some players right now. So much money. There's some young players here who could be promoted. Cooper J. Standerwick, for example, is only League 2 standard right now. I'd love to bring him up, but he's not quite ready yet. The same with Hikaru. He is also not quite ready yet, League 2 standard. Another season out on loan, they might be okay. But for me, it's only Tyson Allen who's ready to make the step up to the first team at the moment. Fully aware that is going to blow most of our transfer budget out the water. I think it's worth it, though, for the potential returns. Another guy that I really want to bring in is this guy, Federico Milan, but he's interested with Villa, Palace, Everton, Newcastle, Southampton. He just does not want to sign a contract with us. It's a player that I've kept on my radar for a while. We're not going to get him. Have I really just put a bid of £6.5 million down for a player that I'm not entirely sure? No, I am certain about him. I am certain. I also am certain of having performance analyst budgets increase because that'd be quite nice for us. Also, I guess we have to see it as an investment rather than spending £6.5 million on a player. We have to see him as an investment unless we go and rise up the ranks really quickly. Because I don't think... Surely we'll be able to sell him for like double, if not more, in the future. That's what we have to think. He has to be an investment as he's here now. Wow, am I pressing accept on this? I think I actually am. £2.3 million deducted. Why? It's only 1.5 million up front, isn't it? Or have we got to pay our first instalment right now as well? I think we might have to pay our first instalment right now too. Okay. I've done it. Wow. Wow, I've done it. Premier League potential, Championship current ability. It's fine. It's good. He is a very good player who can also play on the wing as well. We could find a place for him there. For me, he will be a striker or an attacking midfielder. Also, he's already valued on new signing at £6 to £8 million, which is good. But the point was, I was going to go on to here because he can play up front, but we apparently have 3 formations, do we? I don't think I agree with that. Well, let's get rid of this one because I don't think we need it right now. Clear the slots. And what I want to do is, how do I make a copy? I just want to copy this one across as it is right now. Oh, copy that one. So we've got a copy of it now. And essentially what we do is have a 4-2-3-1 instead, maybe. Maybe we do that and have this as an option. So going back to the 4-4-2, what we can do is play this guy up front, for example, Rock Svarg. We can play him up front, but I do think he would be quite a good playmaker. And so maybe the option is to have him, if we go back to this formation, play as an advanced playmaker here on attack. Maybe have these guys on more supportive duties either side, for example. We get rid of the playmaker. And maybe just have a centre mid on support. And a box-to-boxer. Maybe that's the way it works a bit better, potentially. I think we trial both of these through pre-season, I reckon. I think we trial them both through pre-season and kind of see how it works out. But temporarily, we'll just leave him as that striker. We could just do with a right winger and a centre mid. That's what we need. So we'll wait until loan markets open up for that, I think. And so as the 30th of June rolls around, contracts expire, players like Harry Lennon, Aaron Hayden, Paul Mullen, all leaving the club. Big servants to the club, but they are now leaving. Bryce Hosanna leaving the club as well. Jaden Williams leaving us. A lot of players going. They will not really be missed too much. We actually know what Biro looks like now as well. Now we've got this new face pack installed. He looks like a great guy. Why does he not want to sign for us? I don't understand it. He had a great year with us. I want him back. So, editing Tom here. Something really weird happened. I record all of the Football Manager separately, and I record the video on this camera here, which I've not angled very well, but there we go. So there's an SD card in the camera, and the SD card obviously records it. I plug it into the computer, move it over. But for some reason, halfway through transferring the files, the SD card corrupted. So from this point onwards in the video, there's no face cam because the thing corrupted, which is a bit weird. I can't explain it. I'm more annoyed because all of my thumbnail faces are saved on the SD card, and they're now all gone. Like a good... Well, not that many, to be fair. 30, 40, 50, something like that. Which is annoying, because I'm now going to take loads of photos again. But we can get over it, maybe. But now that we are back and players have returned to their parent clubs, we can start to maybe put some loans in for other players who weren't available beforehand, such as Jason McGowan, who's a right winger, really good crossing and dribbling. It looks like we might have to play with inverted wingers this season with the players that we are actually getting into the team right now. Championship, Premier League potential. How much would they want for him? We've not got much left in the wage budget at all, and we've got nothing left in the transfer budget. Well, this could be quite a limiting factor. Well, unless they're from Man United, we can't really get them on loan, can we? And we can't sign players for fees. Players on a free, that might help us out a little bit. And there's loads of players available on a free. I still want Rav van den Berg coming into the club. And he does want to sign for us now. Is he left-footed? Reasonable. The thing is, I think he's going to want a lot of money. And I don't think we can afford that money. Right. Stepping stone. Let's just try and get rid of and exclude these. Can we make an important player? Yes. Okay, he's happy with all of that. 14 grand a week. We can give him 12. Which would put him as one of the highest earning players at the club. But if we compare him, for example, with what I think our best player at the club is, Adam Thomas Parry, compare the two of them, Rav is head and shoulders better. Head and shoulders better is Rav. If we can get him up to 10 grand a week, get rid of the match highest earner clause, we have to leave in the release fee clauses. Try and bring some of these down a little bit. Oh, he's not going to like any of this, is he? He's not going to like it. It's going to go orange. It's not gone orange, but he just wants a ton of money. 11 grand a week. Can we... It's the wage is the biggest thing. And he's not going to like it. That's so annoying. Okay. I might try and keep coming back in for him. I might just try and keep coming back in for him every now and again. There's a midfielder here who's a centre mid. First touch is good. Passing's really good. International experience. Who did he play for recently? Sheriff in Moldova. Good championship level. Let's get him on trial. Can we offer a trial to him? Because that would work quite well. In fact, there's probably a few players we could offer trials to, actually. Like Latoro, offer him a trial. We could offer a trial to Warren O'Hara to play at centre-back. There's another centre mid here from Colombia. I'll also get a team report for the Man United under-23s again, just to see what's going on there. As these three players are joining us on trial, apparently O'Hara wouldn't come on trial to us. It just said he can't offer a trial to him. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But if these players look good, they could be quite handy for us. Some really good players have been let go. Something tells me that most of them, like Decore, is not going to join us, is he? Decore not going to join us. So I think we can ignore these. And now Derby want Rav van den Berg. He'll probably go there instead, I think, because of the money, and we messed it up a little bit. These are the players, though, that are available at Man United. Centre mid here. Would he want to join us? I don't think they will let him. No, high quality players needed. That's a bit of that's harsh. That feels horrible. Has Luca Reichel, has he changed his mind? You know, it'd be quite nice to bring him in. No, we can't get him. There's no one really to bring in, is there? Other than this guy who's not very good. He's not championship level, I don't think. I mean, we could always just bring him anyway. It's for absolutely free, isn't it? So we've got nothing to lose, although they won't let him come. Okay, right. Ignore this. Should have kept the link with Liverpool, although I thought I was keeping the link with Liverpool, wasn't I? And we didn't. Rochdale, you cannot have Tyson Allen, I'm afraid. He's staying with us. Players on trial then. Well, this guy, the centre mid, he might be good for a season or two, you know. Played very well last season at Sheriff. Would only need to be a backup at the very worst for us. So, kind of like what I see. Regular starter. Let's try and do that, shall we? Or even squad player. He's happy with squad player. Brilliant. On a very cheap contract, even better. Should get a work permit because he has international appearances, right? So, surely this is going to be a good enough contract for him. He loves it. Okay, good. Great. He could be coming in. Let's also look at Latoro, because he was a striker at Liverpool. He was. That we tried to get last season. They wouldn't let us have him. Championship, current ability, Premier League potential. At 23, that might be asking a bit much. But he could come in. How much does he want? Let's make him a squad player. We can have the established bit in there if you want. That's fine, matey. Because I think we will be established, and if not, we can save for lots of money. He's happy with that. The contract might be difficult because we can't offer much to him right now. We can't offer him anything. There's no way. Okay. Well, that's out the question. What about Andreas? Who's more of a defensive-minded midfielder, which is not a bad thing to bring. It does say good League One level, though, which suggests he's maybe not good enough. So, that should be fine. And I don't want to jinx anything, but if this midfielder comes in, other than, I don't know, like the odd player coming in, on the grounds that we've got no money to spend and no one wants to buy our players, and actually I don't want to sell any of our players, we might have a team for next season already. You know what? It feels very, very nice to have this sort of thing done and dusted by early July. I'm shocked we've got it ready already. One player that I would kind of want to bring in is this guy that we've scouted out from Peru. He does look quite good as a right winger. Although I think we've got better at the club already, maybe. Yeah, I think we've got better at the club already. Let's not worry about Luis. To be fair, we've not even got the money to bring him in right now. We can't adjust budgets because we're at the max of budgets all over the place. I don't think I can ask for anything more from the board. If I go to the boardroom, make a board request, can I go to finances, increase next season's... increase wage and transfer budget. Can we just ask them for it right now? They'll talk to me shortly. Finances, increase wage budgets. They'll talk to me shortly. If they say yes, it'll be kind of annoying because we've already tried to sign several players that we want and now can't afford them, cancelled the contract. It'll be weeks before they want to talk to us again, so that would be a bit of a shame. Board have come back and they have rejected both requests. I mean, we'll discuss it with them. Can we increase the wage budget? They say no, and we have convinced them and the club's doing fine. We are not going to do it. Okay, that's fine. What about the wage budget? Can we have some wage budget to get the targets? And they'll transfer budget and they say no, request denied. Right, so that's not going to work. We do have £8 million in the bank account though. If we can't spend any more on players, could we maybe spend some more on facilities? Could we increase the youth level of the club? The board will let me know shortly. And also Latoro Avando has assigned to Huddersfield instead. I think he was always going to probably sign for them rather than us, even if we did get a contract in there for him. So work permit is going to be done for him. Brandon Cover, by the way, who we had a few years ago, has been let go by Bristol City. But by looks of things, League 2 Championship is not good enough for us, so let's not bring him in. Board are also saying no to the youth level. Let's discuss it with them. I think we could persuade them here. It's imperative to strive for the best wherever we can. Let's say that, and they say that the academy is good enough already. Well, how about we just keep trying to convince them with various arguments here, and they say no. Not good for board meetings. I'm surprised, actually. I thought we might have a couple bids for our players. Like when we saw very early on that bid for Holm, I thought that could be the start of the floodgates opening for a couple of our players who maybe overperformed last season. But no, we have literally had nothing, and now Reading want this guy in on loan, or to sign him, sorry. Which means he probably is quite good. But it also means he won't sign for us, I imagine. Oh, and he's not even signed for either us or Huddersfield. He's gone to Hull instead. Hull, who are in the Championship. They just got promoted then, clearly. Okay, well, how is the team looking then? Because I think there's not really much more we can do. Can we survive with this team? And the answer probably is yes. The answer is yes. We've got a very good starting 11, which I really like. If we make him an inverted winger on this side as well, wow, we're off to a flyer here. We might be lacking a little bit in attacking options, but that's a decision that we've made, I suppose, isn't it, to an extent. We can rotate players around. It would be nice to have someone else in the attacking right-hand side of the pitch. Just one more player who can play in this sort of area. Another centre mid. We're just sort of lacking a little bit, but we have no budget. So it might be promotions from within, to be fair. Hikaru, for example, centre mid, League 1 level right now. He could come in to be a backup player for us. He could. And that's not the worst thing in the world, right? Oh, on Fiblap, he could be coming in. He's more of a left winger though, isn't he? And he's League 2 standard. We could just do with a little bit more. But due to finances, that's kind of how it's going to have to be, I think. There's not much more we can do. The good news is the season preview is looking good for us. No longer are we favourites to come bottom. We are favourites for 21st, but that's a 3-place increase in the past 2 seasons. It shows we are making good progress. For me, our target this season is going to have to be top half. If we can just beat what we did last season, I'd be happy. So essentially our target next season is to be what we were on last season. Last season we were on 65 points in 13th. Next season, if we get 66 points and 12th place, I'd be over the moon. So next episode, we'll come back, I think, for the Middlesbrough game, because we played Sunderland on the first day of the season last season and we beat them 2-1. Let's not do that again. Let's go to the Middlesbrough game instead and find out how things are going. So thank you very much for watching today's transfer special. I hope you guys have enjoyed it and you like the players that we've brought in and you've not shouted at me too much for signing some very expensive, potentially not the greatest players in the world. We'll see how they go, basically. But once again, thank you very much. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode. Make sure you do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Let me know what you think of the transfers, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Goodbye.